my channel. So spring is in the air, spring has sprung, and that means that it's time for a perfume refresh. I know people like to wear different perfumes in the different seasons. Obviously now that sort of winter has gone and things are starting to bloom in our gardens and in the parks, it's nice to sort of celebrate that with a nice spring perfume. So I'm going to take you through my rundown of what I think would be a great spring perfume to have this year. If you're new here, then welcome to my videos, my channels. I'm always posting different perfume review and range review videos like this, so do subscribe. I'd love to have you here in the community. So I'm going to start off with a Stella McCartney perfume that's been out for a few years now, called Lilly. I think this is a really cool bottle and the smell is really lovely. It does have Lily in the Valley in here, but it has lots of awesome, beautiful floral notes with it, and it's a really sparkly fragrance. You've got patchouli and there's also musk and then some pink pepper to make it that sort of sparkly sharpness to it. I think it's really nice, really modern, and would just be beautiful for spring. I think this is a really underrated fragrance that you don't really see advertised or promoted that much, but it's actually really beautiful and really good for any age. So next is Livius Belle L'Eau de Toilette. So this is one of the flankers from the Livius Belle range, but this one has some much more citrusy, fresh floral notes in it compared to the original Livius Belle, which is quite sweet. This one has the citrusy notes of lemon and orange in here, as well as neroli and orange blossom and jasmine. So it just smells really fresh, like a fresh spring day, sort of walking out into a garden, and I just think it's beautiful. It is an eau de toilette, so you will have to keep applying it, but I think it's a beautiful way to wake up, spray this on yourself in the morning, and it does have that nod to the original Livius Belle fragrance, which is really nice, but this is just a really nice flanker edition, really good for spring. So next, for fans of slightly sweeter fragrances, is Signorina by Salvatore Ferragamo. Again, this is a sort of underrated or under-publicized perfume in my opinion. The bottle is pretty with the little pink bow, and this has a sort of panna cotta-y sweetness to it, as well as beautiful pink floral notes. You've got peony, rose and jasmine here with some musk underneath, and then some red currant in there just to make this a little bit fun. I think this is nice for spring when it's not quite hot enough for you to feel like a sweet fragrance, a gourmand fragrance would be too much, too overwhelming. So it really works with the freshness of spring, but just adding that sweetness in there from the panna cotta-y type fragrance notes, which really help sort of make this feminine as well as being just fresh and floral. Continuing on the sort of sweet floral note is Jimmy Choo Blossom. Now this is really lovely because it's got sweet pea notes in here, and I just really associate the smell of sweet peas with spring. They're like delicate and floral, and it's like Mother Nature saying hello to the world. There's also raspberry in here, which makes it nice and sweet and warm, and red berries as well, but there's an underlying musky patchouli in the base, which helps give this the body and the body behind the perfume, and overall just very fresh, very feminine, really light and airy, perfect for during the day in spring. Next is the newest offering from Girl of Now from Elie Saab. So the original Girl of Now to me smells like Loverdose, like almost like a licorice, but this new version, Forever, they've added some raspberry and floral notes to it, and I think it's the best so far. It's got plenty of almond in here to make it warm, but on top of that you've got raspberry, blackcurrant, lemon, and then the undernotes of sort of cashmere and patchouli and vanilla, so quite a complex one. So underneath you've got quite heavy notes, warm notes, but on the top you've got these fresh notes, and the raspberry really does last through after the citrusy ones have gone. So even though you remain with the vanilla-y almondiness, you still get the warmth of a sort of floral raspberry note, which means that I think it's perfect for spring, and they've just released it, so ready for springtime, so they were probably thinking the same thing. Next, for fans of green notes and fragrances, would be Chanel Chance Eau Fresh. This is such a classic, beautiful green fragrance. It smells like walking in the park, or walking in a forest. You've got that sort of pine needliness to it. You've also got some kind of like oak, mossy type fragrance notes in there. It's very forest, very green. And then a little bit of patchouli and musk in there just to help it last. And when you first spray it, you get a lovely citrus lemon, but it really is those pine green notes that come through. This is really beautiful as a spring fragrance if you really like your green notes. The liquid's green, and yeah, this is just a really lovely green fragrance. And then lastly, one of my personal fragrances that I mentioned in my 10 Perfumes for Life video, I'll leave the link below if you haven't seen it, is Gigi Flora. I think this is kind of like a slightly sweet floral fragrance. Osmanthus is kind of the main note you get here, but then it has lovely peony and then quite a nice syrupy orangeness. So again, I think this is floral and slightly sweet, but it's not too light. So this very much is a spring perfume for me rather than a summer perfume, because that orange syrupiness might be a little bit too much for when it's super hot. But in the spring, I think this is perfect because it is fresh and floral without being too light. It still has a bit of body for those colder spring days. So that's my rundown of perfumes I'm loving for spring right now. Let me know if you tried any of these, or if you have them, or if you have any other recommendations for spring perfumes. There's so many out there you could wear, and spring is just such a lovely time of year, so really perfect time to get a new perfume. But that's it, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!